The phone rings and you pick up. It's your new boss. He's just letting you know that tomorrow's gonna be a big day. There is some important people flying in from corporate, and he wants you to make sure everything is perfect. He knows you can handle it. Just make sure you get a good night's sleep and you'll be fine, right? You hang up and go about your day. But now you're nervous. What if you screw this up? What if they ask you an unexpected question during the meeting? And then there's that one guy who always has to leave early for his tea time, but he always comes in late and makes everyone wait for him. Do you have a plan for that? You tried to focus on your work, but you can't help but imagine all the different things that could go wrong. Soon your anxiety starts to take over. Your heart is racing. Your palms are sweaty. And now your mind won't stop racing either. So here you are, staring at the clock, waiting for 5 p.m. so you can finally head home. But what if you had a plan? What if you knew exactly how to take control of your stress and turn this dreaded day into one where you not only succeed but thrive? Well, grab a pen and a paper because I'm about to show you exactly how to do that. Welcome to the channel where we educate you on how to become more socialized, make more money, and get more women. Now, today we're going to talk about how to handle when your boss calls you on a Friday. Now, the last time you got a call from your boss on a Friday was probably back when you were in high school. You were hanging out with your friends playing video games. Or maybe you were about to go out and meet some girls. Then your phone rings. And it's your boss letting you know that something came up and he needs you to come in and fix it. After putting in your 2 weeks notice, you quit your job at McDonald's and started working for your dad's company instead. But still, every once in a while, your boss would text or call you on a Friday after hours with some issue that needed your attention. If you ignored him, it would just keep you from having a good weekend. So you pick up and you help him out. After doing this several times, you finally reach a breaking point. You tell him that if he calls you again on a Friday night, you're gonna lose it. Of course, he doesn't listen, and the next Friday rolls around. You're getting ready to go out and have fun when your phone rings. It's your boss asking for help. This time you don't answer. He ends up calling 3 more times, but you ignore him each time. The next Monday rolls around and you show up to work like normal. Your boss stops you in the break room and tells you that he is disappointed in you for not answering your phone. You tell him that you didn't answer because you told him that you would. And now he's mad. Things start going downhill from there, and eventually you end up quitting to work for your dad again. Now your dad's company does much better than McDonald's ever did. But still you get called in to work on Fridays from time to time. The thing is, you don't mind helping your boss out, but you also don't want to be taken advantage of. So how do you handle it when your boss calls you on a Friday? Well, let's start with understanding why your boss might be calling you on a Friday. The first reason could be that he needs your help to fix something urgent that came up during the week. Maybe a client reached out with a concern or a project was delayed due to unforeseen circumstances. When something like this happens, your boss might feel that you are the best person to address the situation, since you've been working on the project or dealing with the client. In this case, he's not necessarily looking to pile on more work for you, but rather wants your input or assistance to resolve the issue quickly. That's why it's important to establish a good working relationship with your boss so that you understand each other's roles and responsibility. By setting clear expectations from the beginning, you can avoid any potential misunderstandings or frustration when issues arise. Remember, clear communication is key to a successful working relationship. Another reason your boss might be calling you on a Friday is to give you an update or share some information that he thinks will affect your work. For example, he might be letting you know about a change in leadership or a new project that the team will be working on in the coming weeks. He might also be sharing some positive news, such as an upcoming company event or an employee recognition program. In this case, your boss is not trying to burden you with extra work, but rather keep you informed and involved in what's happening in the company. It is important to be proactive in your career and stay up to date on all company news and developments. By being informed, you can better position yourself for success and contribute to the company's overall goals. Plus, it shows your boss that you're interested in your work and the company's success. So when you receive a call from your boss on a Friday, don't assume that it's an emergency or an attempt to give you more work. Take the opportunity to learn something new or catch up on recent developments. Your boss might be sharing valuable insights or information that will help you excel in your role and contribute to the team's success. So pick up that call and see what your boss has to say. You never know what valuable information or opportunities might come your way. Now, before we move on to the next step, I want to make sure that you understand that if your boss calls you on a Friday evening or over the weekend, it's never okay for him to demand that you work. If he does, then you should report him to HR immediately. Now, let's move on. The second step to handle when your boss calls you on a Friday is to set boundaries. Setting boundaries is an important part of maintaining a healthy work-life balance. When you work hard during the week, it's natural to want to relax and recharge on the weekends. However, if your boss keeps calling you on a Friday night or over the weekend, it can disrupt your personal life and cause unnecessary stress. To prevent this from happening, it's important to set clear boundaries between your work life and your personal life. When setting these boundaries, it's important to consider the nature of your job and the needs of your boss. For example, if you work in a field where emergencies can happen outside of work hours, it's reasonable for you to be available for urgent matters. On the other hand, if your job is more routine-based, it's not necessary for you to be constantly reachable on weekends. Once you've considered these factors, it's time to communicate your boundaries to your boss. You can do this by setting specific times when you will be available to work on weekends, or by letting your boss know that you won't be checking your email or taking work calls during certain hours. It is important to be clear and direct when communicating your boundaries so that there is no room for miscommunication. Make sure your boss understands that this is not a sign of disrespect, but rather a way for you to maintain a healthy work-life balance and ensure that you're able to perform at your best during work hours. Setting boundaries with your boss is essential to preventing burnout and maintaining a positive work-life balance. By setting clear expectations and communicating them effectively, you can ensure that you're able to enjoy your weekends without the stress of work constantly looming over you. Now, the final step to handle when your boss calls you on a Friday is to make a plan. Making a plan will help you to stay organized and ensure that you're able to manage your time effectively. When your boss calls you on a Friday, it is important to assess the urgency of the matter and determine whether it can wait until Monday or if it requires your immediate attention. If it can wait, politely let your boss know that you'll address the issue first thing on Monday morning. However, if the issue is urgent, ask your boss for more information and guidance on how to proceed. Once you have a clear understanding of the situation, create a plan of action that outlines the steps you need to take and the resources you will need to accomplish your goal. This plan should be realistic and take into account any other commitments you have over the weekend. It is also important to communicate your plan to your boss so that he is aware of the steps you're taking and the timeline for completion. By making a plan and communicating it effectively, you demonstrate your ability to handle the situation calmly and efficiently. This will not only impress your boss, but also help you to stay focused and motivated as you work to resolve the issue. So when your boss calls you on a Friday, remain calm and follow these 3 steps. Understand the reason for the call. Set boundaries to maintain a healthy work-life balance and make a plan to address the issue effectively. By following these steps, you'll be able to handle the situation with professionalism and grace, ensuring that you maintain a positive relationship with your boss and achieve your career goals. Don't forget to show some love and hit like for the algorithm to see the next best way to level up as a man. Watch these videos here.